Hello everybody, my name is the Dark Reviewer, and today we will be reviewing JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, Diamond is Unbreakable. Now, this movie is a big departure from both the manga and the anime that share the same name. Now, if you don't know what is, JoJo's Bizarre Adventures is a long-running manga series that started all the way out in, I think, the 70s or 80s. And the creator, Araki, he has built up this world all the way from part 1, which was just basically about vampires, all the way up to part 9, which is just a guy trying to get money. And in the show, they have this sort of two separate abilities they use a lot, or at least one that they use more than the other. The first one is called Hamon, which is like life energy. And the second one, which is more prevalent in this movie, is stands. Now, if you don't know what a stand is, then a stand is a physical manifestation of one's fighting spirit. So, the only way to harm a stand is to have another stand harm it, unless some things, come up. The only way you can see a stand is to be another stand user, except for when it's not. And all physical damage from a stand will affect its user, except for when it doesn't. Please remember these facts because this shit will not make any sense from here. Now, we start off our movie with our main villain of the movie, Angelo, who has kidnapped a bunch of people and is basically killed them, leaving a few survivors. So, with that, Angelo gets shot with the sort of stand arrow, and then gets left for the police. Now, since he was shot with a stand arrow, he got to escape later with his new ability, Aqua Necklace, which has the ability to basically control water, morph itself into different types of liquids, which will come up later on. And yeah, we get this really cool opening where we meet another main character, Koichi, he's not the main character, but he's a side character. And when going to school, he runs into a few upperclassmen picking on a very handsome boy. And this boy turns out to be none other than our main character, Josuke Higashikata, or also known as JoJo. And so, with that, the upperclassmen kind of insult Josuke's hair, which then Josuke gets really pissed off about, and basically he breaks one of the other guys' jaw, but then seems to heal him, but with his nose rearranged to a different spot. Now, this is a part of Josuke's ability known as Crazy Diamond, which basically gives him the ability to revert things back to what it originally was, or at least what it was earlier. So let's say he wants to reattach a hand to someone, all he has to do is heal that person's hand, and boom, the hand will instantly come back, and it will be like nothing had happened before. Or let's say someone splits my desk in half, the one that you're all are on right now. Just has to touch one of the pieces of the desk, and it will just form back to the way it was. I think you get the picture. But a funny ability that happens is anytime Josuke is extremely angry or just doesn't care, or anytime he uses his stand, he will rearrange your face into well, not the way it was before. So after this, Koichi and Josuke go to school, where Koichi also meets a girl named Yuko, who in the manga and anime It has the stand ability known as Love Deluxe, which basically makes her control her hair molecules. And basically lets them get like wrap people, choke people out. They can even go into your own scalp and they can be your hair, but she can still control them. Now, this wouldn't be anywhere present unless it was the end of the uh, movie that I was watching. And well, we don't really get to like see a lot of Yukiko. We've seen like a couple scenes with her. She already seems very obsessed with Koichi, but after Josuke and Koichi are walking home from school, or at least Josuke is, he runs into an older gentleman who is named Josuke. No, sorry, not Josuke. I meant to say that Josuke is running into who is known as sort of his nephew, as you say, but he's a lot older than Josuke. This man's name is Jotaro Kujo, and his stand ability is called, well, Star Platinum. I mean, who doesn't know Star Platinum? I mean, even if you don't know what JoJo's is, you always hear the meme of Star Platinum. But basically, what Star Platinum can do is it enhances Jotaro's like speed and agility a little bit, while also enhancing his reflexes, but also giving him the ability to stop time, all in general. So, what happens is that after a bit of a conversation where Jotaro tells Josuke that he is, in fact, his uncle, and Josuke is really confused because, Jotaro is older than him, and he doesn't really expect to have a nephew that's, so old. And eventually it uh, and gets to involve a bunch of girls that come up and try to compliment Josuke's hair. Jotaro, getting annoyed by this, tells the girls off by saying that they can talk about his hair later. Which Josuke gets pretty angry about because he thinks Jotaro has insulted his hair. Which I'm not going to get into why that's the case. There's the whole thing in the anime and the manga, and I don't really feel like getting into all that. But eventually, Josuke and Jotaro fight, but only briefly because Jotaro decides it's a good idea to stop time and punch the shit out of Josuke. He tells Josuke to get up, and then he keeps explaining to him what's going on. And then he also explains to Josuke that there's a serial killer named Angelo, or at least they don't know what his name is yet, but we know him as Angelo. Now, a little while later, Angelo's talking with the guy who had shot him, which is one of the Nijimura brothers. And this Nijimura brother has the ability he called Bad Company, which is basically like a whole tiny miniature army, or at least modern day army. But as one of these Nijimura brothers keeps trying to find new stand users to heal his father, but with Angelo, he has no certain luck. And so he threatens Angelo to take care of a few things, and here Angelo pisses off somewhere else and decides to take over a young man and rob a convenience store, where then Josuke comes walking by and uses his ability, Crazy Diamond, to trap the knife that the man was using inside of his gut, which then he ends up throwing up Aqua Necklace, and Aqua Necklace basically says he's gonna kill him and his family. Now, Josuke's a little on edge, so he calls Jotaro to come help him out, and Jotaro said he'd be there shortly. Now, it seems that if Angelo has figured out who Josuke's grandfather psychologist, which is the guy who tried locking him up. And that's another whole thing that happens in the anime and the manga. It's a lot more fucked up than it is in this movie. I'm not gonna say it because I'd rather not. It makes me sick to my fucking stomach. But anyway, Angela figures out he ends up killing the grandpa by turning a bottle that Josuke had trapped his stand Aqua necklace in into one of his Josuke's grandpa's favorite types of bourbon, which then Josuke's grandpa drinks and ends up dying. Josuke heals him, but it's too late and the grandpa's dead. So, basically, Jotaro has to tell Josuke that no stand could ever revive a guy from, or revive someone from death. And so, they have to have a funeral for him, and they end up, like, fighting Angelo later on, or at least a couple days later. They defeat him, but they want to get answers out of him how he got his stand. So Angelo tells him as much as he can before insulting Josuke's hair and saying that he's going to just kill a bunch of other people. So Josuke traps him in a stone, and then Josuke kind of moves on with his life, befriending Koichi, and him and Koichi start, walking one day, and they walk across a abandoned building where Koichi kind of like is scared of what's in there, so he kind of peeks over, thinking he saw someone, and he gets attacked by, another main character in the manga and the anime, but not really in the movie because he only shows up for a short period of time. Okuyasu Nijimura, who has the ability called the Hand, which is a broken ass stand which can basically erase objects from existence by swiping at them. And if he erases, like, let's say a sign, and he splits it down the middle, those two objects will join together, but the erased part that he swiped out of existence will be gone. Anyway, so Josuke and Okuyasu have a battle because Josuke wants to get Koichi because the other Nijimura brother had shot the stand arrow into him. Now, what the stand arrow does, I don't think I really explained it earlier, but it basically imbues the ability to gain a stand onto someone. Now, if you don't have a high fighting spirit, then you're possibly just gonna die. But if you do have a high fighting spirit, or you are healed in time, you will live and you will gain your stand. Like what's gonna happen here in a little bit. So Koichi's shot the stand and brought inside. Josuke and Okuyasu fight. Josuke wins, and Josuke goes inside, eventually Okuyasu getting shot by his own brother. Josuke, being the honorable person he is, heals his enemy. Okuyasu is confused on why he did it and decides to leave, but ends up coming back later, but we're not there yet. So Josuke gets a whole battle in with the other Nijimura brother, who uses bad company and basically puts nukes, landmines, bombs, tanks, jets, missiles. They basically use all that crap after Josuke had healed Koichi, which now Koichi has a stand, which is called Echoes, which we might see Echoes Act 1 at the end of this part. So what happens is that he basically gets to awaken Echoes Act 1. We don't really get to see him use his power all that much, but the other Nijimura brothers defeated. They meet his father that he's trying to heal, and right as he's about to give up and Okuyasu goes back, they get attacked by this little stand. called Sheer Heart Attack, which is like a little tank. That's a little tank mine thing that goes near the hottest source that it can and blows up. Now this is a part of the main villain stand, Yoshikage Kira, who has 3 stands technically. This first stand is Killer Queen, who basically, if he touches anything, it turns into a bomb. So let's say I touch my hat, or I touch this hoodie. I can turn it into a bomb, and if I want to detonate it, all I have to do is this motion, and it explodes. Second stand, Sheer Heart Attack. I just explained its ability. His third stand, spoiler ahead if you haven't read the anime, or sorry, not read the anime. If you haven't watched the anime or read the manga, basically what his third stand can do is, well, if anyone tries to get his identity revealed, the person that the guy revealed his identity to will blow up. The guy who revealed the identity will go back in time to the start of that day, which then restarts the day. But the person he told the identity to of the main villain beforehand on the previous restart will still die at that exact time that he told him last time. But even if he doesn't tell him, the guy will still die at the exact time. But it won't send him back in time unless he tells another person. So basically, the movie ends there with Okuyasu's brother dying, and yeah, that was JoJo's Bizarre Adventures Diamond is Unbreakable. Now, there is like a little post-credit scene where Okuyasu and Josuke kind of make up, they become friends, and they're all just walking down to school, and we get to see Yuko at the end of this movie. Her hair kind of twitches, implying that her stand is awakened, or has always been awakened, and is now ready to be activated. Sadly, we did not get an extra movie, or we did not get a next movie after this. We didn't get like a part 2 or anything, so we're just stuck with this one, and that kind of sucks because I did want to see another part to this. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and if you liked this video, then I would like you to go down there and hit the subscribe button, and also ring that bell to keep up to date with my latest videos. And if you like this video, hit the like button. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.